Hey everyone, so I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you guys submitted through Instagram on my personal account and Modern Psychedelics, all about how I'm going to be preparing and how I prepare for my ceremonies. So I'm really excited to answer these questions because there's some really good ones. Okay, so how important is an intention? So an intention is the one thing you definitely want to bring with you to a ceremony. It is the most important thing to bring to you to a ceremony, I believe. And it really will and can dictate where your journey goes. And I think the power of an intention is that when you set an intention, it kind of shows that you have done some inner reflecting and inner healing before your ceremony. You're anchored in what you want to receive from the ceremony. So yeah, I would say an intention is pretty important. Although my shamans always say have an intention, but then also be willing to let it go, because at the end of the day, the medicine will give you what you need in that moment. Okay, so do you get anxiety/butterflies before drinking the brew? I don't get butterflies, but sometimes I'm absolutely repulsed at the thought of it, and I think about it like the whole day before, and I'm just like very resistant to the taste of it. So yeah, that happens sometimes, and like I've had a period of time where it was like ceremony after ceremony after ceremony after ceremony that was happening. I was feeling resistant, and then it kind of went away and it like came back again. So it's very interesting. Usually that just means that you're resisting something within yourself, or you're resisting looking at something within yourself, and doesn't really have anything to do with the taste of the medicine. What sort of food and how often do you eat once arriving at the retreat/forest? Where I go, we don't eat after around noon to 2 p.m. the day of the ceremony. So you go into ceremony with an empty belly, and then when we have breakfast in the morning, usually most people are not super hungry, but I will tend to have, there's like usually a spread, and it's vegan and delicious, and it's the best food ever. And usually I'll just have like a big bowl of fruit and maybe like a piece of toast with hummus and a salad, something like that. But it's typically very light and fresh food. I'm realizing that not all of these are about preparation, but that's okay. So does the noise of other people's purges interfere with your experience? This is a really interesting question, and something I feel very strongly about, because I have experienced that every single person sharing the ceremony space together is actually co-creating the space and the experience, and we're actually all co-healing each other through our own experiences. So it does impact my experience, as in we're all co-creating it together, but no, it doesn't interfere with my experience. And whenever I hear someone purging, I actually think it's really beautiful, and I'm so happy for them that they are releasing something that needs to come out and that isn't serving them. Is the dieta necessary? What will happen if I don't do the diet? I don't know what will happen. I'm not an expert in that. I think that there are some foods that just don't interact well with the medicine. I don't know what that means. But if you don't do the diet, I mean, I don't think anything really bad will necessarily happen, but I think the diet is more of showing a commitment to the process and committing to the process and showing a type of dedication to the medicine. How do you know where to go? Where is a safe place to do Aya? I'm going to refer you to the Modern Psychedelics episode with Jinica Torres, episode 21, I believe. I'll link it down below. We have a really good discussion about exactly this. Do you set a different intention for each ceremony? Yes, I do. I mean, they usually always have to do with deeper healing and ascending into love from fear. That's typically the overall theme, but my intention is usually based in whatever I'm currently working through in the present moment. Right now, that happens to be forgiveness and guilt around moving forward in life, into my new life, into my abundant future. So this actually came up through the master cleanse that I did, and now I'm kind of going into deeper work around it. How soon do the changes in your life take place? Like, does integration take a long time? Integration is always happening. Integration is a way of being. I think that yes, it can happen. Changes in your life can happen overnight, and they can also happen very slowly. So it's just really, really different each time, and it varies person to person and ceremony to ceremony. I'd be curious about what kind of due diligence you do when deciding on a shaman/ceremony. So I have only ever done ayahuasca with one tribe. So I have 2 shamans, and they are my heart. I love them so much. And I was fortunate enough to have known quite a few people who had already attended this medicine circle before I went, so I was able to speak to them, which was amazing. And I had a phone conversation with them as well before, and I just got a really, really good feeling about them. How many ceremonies have you done? So this weekend will be 18 and 19, I think. Do you stop consuming cannabis for a certain amount of time before a ceremony? Yes, you do. I don't really consume that much cannabis normally. Very sparingly do I use cannabis, but even like microdosing, you definitely want to stop it at least a week before, if not earlier. And then also a week after as well. It is recommended. How to prepare to tell friends/family that may be against it or hesitant. So I had to go through this because I had to tell my parents that I participate in these ayahuasca ceremonies, and it was only after ceremony like 10 or 12. So it was like late in. I had always told them that I was going to yoga retreats. But it really came to me in a ceremony that I no longer wanted to live my life in a way where I wasn't being fully authentically myself. And the way that I was able to finally like work up the courage, I guess, to tell my family was I removed any sense of obligation for their experience from me telling them. So I came to a place of understanding that no matter what their reaction is, or no matter like how they take it or how they understand what I am telling them in their minds, that isn't my responsibility. It's only really my responsibility to be fully and wholly, authentically myself, and to live my life with that type of integrity, which is really important to me. So that was what really helped me, was just removing myself from any sense of bearing their reaction. And that really helped me, and it was actually a really beautiful conversation. And I'm so happy that I told them, and that I can be honest with my parents about something that is absolutely fundamental in my life. Hope that helps. I want to do it as well. Where are you going? Enjoy your visit. So I don't share where I go on the internet. All I would say to that is if you are calling in the experience, and if you feel the call, then be intentional about wanting to have the experience, and when the time is right, she will come to you, she will find you. Okay, so what are your top 3 essentials to bring to ceremony? Okay, so let me actually go grab those things. Okay, so like my top 3 like essentials, as in if I forgot these things at home, I would be really upset. They are, okay, so I have this little pouch. This is my little ceremony pouch that I keep beside me at all times. And this has chapstick. So important because lips get so dry. I also usually have eye drops in there because I wear contacts, but I'm out and I definitely have to replenish. I have pulse because sometimes when I'm like purging, it can be really hard on my throat, and this is nice to have. I also usually have a pack of gum in here, which I also need to replenish because I always have a piece of gum after I go up to drink because the taste is really intense. I keep my gua sha in here as well. Sometimes in the morning I'll get tension headaches and jaw pain, and I'll just kind of go in and relax here or go along my neck, and that really helps relieve some of the tension. And then I also have a bunch of essential oils in here. So this is like that sage pharmacy kit that I've converted into my little ceremony pouch. So I'm gonna count that as 1 item because when I'm packing, I grab this as 1 item. So this is like my little kit. Second, this is essential. So this is my beautiful alpaca blanket that does such an incredible job of keeping me at the perfect temperature all night long during ceremony. And my shamans actually brought it from Ecuador, and it's double-sided, and it is my prized possession. I love this thing so much. And then after a ceremony, it always just smells of sage. I love it. And lastly, I also have some pieces of jewelry that my shamans gifted to me in a really beautiful way. I have these 3 pieces from them, and they were gifted to me all in like very ceremonial, special moments. So these are very important to me in ceremony. And then what do you pack? Similar question. So obviously those 3 things. In terms of clothing, I have my linen pants that everyone always loves. These are my ceremony pants. They have like the long drop crotch. They're linen. They're so breathable. They're so cozy. I love them. I wear that with just like a white cotton shirt. So I always have like very breathable cotton linen materials and layers. I bring a water bottle, I bring a journal and a pen. I will sometimes bring a book, and then that's pretty much it. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but yeah, that's pretty, oh my God, how could I forget? How could I forget? Okay, this is essential. This is essential. I can't choose 3. I have 4 essentials. If I forgot this, I would be gutted. This is the Luna Silk Sleep Mask. It's one of my top 3 items that I own in the world, and it stays on my head for 90% of the night. I love it with all of my heart. Okay, how do you release judgments around not always following the food rules? Okay, so I've done this a few times now, and yeah, I don't perfectly do the dieta every time, and it's been a journey to release the judgment around that. And I think the way that I find peace with it is that I know that stressing about it and being in a state of stress going into a ceremony is so much worse for me than not eating the right dieta. So I do my best, and you know, every time I go to a ceremony it gets easier and easier to do the dieta because my natural way of eating is merging closer and closer with the dieta, whereas the first time that I had to do it, it was such a challenge. So yeah. What should you be sure to avoid and include in your diet in the time leading up to your ceremony? So this is different for every shaman and tradition. So once you sign up for your ceremony, you should get more information about this. For me personally, any types of like red meat, chicken is okay, eggs are okay, dairy should be avoided, coffee, alcohol, sex and masturbation should be avoided, and then foods that should be like reduced are onions, garlic, mango, pineapple, avocado, tomato, basically all of my favorite things, banana, and yeah, but you know, it's not always perfect and it's okay. It's okay, you just try your best. Okay guys, so that was all of the questions I'm going to answer, so I hope that that helped you. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any other questions about my process or Mother Aya, and maybe I'll do another video in the future, but I'm gonna actually wrap this up here. I hope that these Q&A answers have granted you some clarity around your questions, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure that you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this kind of content, you'll definitely want to stick around because psychedelics and plant medicine they're the love of my life. So I'll definitely be doing lots and lots of content around this, and integration, preparation, just my ceremonies and things that I've learned and revelations. So yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.